A very important task at the cross-section of artificial intelligence and visualization is to diagnose if a model achieves an acceptable performance and to provide indications on why this might not be the case. This is often done by investigating the network's behavior on a large data set. A classical visualization for this task is a similarity map, where data instances that the network considers similar are rendered in close proximity. Both grid-like visualizations showing sample images or colored scatter plots are common approaches. Similarity maps are often used to demonstrate whether a network successfully learned to distinguish semantic concepts, but reasoning why concepts cannot be distinguished reliably is not possible without further inspection of individual data instances. In this work, we present a novel extension of similarity maps to efficiently explore if what a network has learned correlates with a predefined hierarchical categorization, such as a categorization of fashion items, like on a fashion web page. Concept splatters are continuous regions in the projected latent space, and enclosed samples are similar with respect to both the concept and the latent space. Concept splatters are illustrated by few prototype samples to characterize their content. Concept splatters are accessible through a map application that allows users to interactively explore large datasets. In the linked latent and concept view, users can inspect individual subconcepts, concept splatters, and spatial regions. In the detail view, users can inspect selections and concepts in more detail. The user can change the level of abstraction for the concept space and can drill down into subconcepts. And recompute the dimensionality reduction if desired. To change the level of abstraction of the latent space, users can modify bandwidth and threshold of the splatters. The lower the bandwidth, the lower the level of abstraction, and the more interclass variability can be observed. Inception is one of the most well-known convolutional neural networks for image classification, and ImageNet is an image database containing millions of human annotated images organized into tens of thousands of WordNet noun sets. Naturally, it's interesting to explore if the visual representation learned by the network correlates with the semantic understanding of image content by humans. We start our exploration of the 50,000 images with 1,000 categories at the level of physical entity. By navigating downwards in the concept space, we notice a clear separation between organisms and man-made artifacts. Navigating further, we identify separate splatters for various kinds of animals. Closer investigation of the placental splatter reveals it largely consists of dogs. We notice that one fish cluster is placed apart from the other animals. By hovering over the fish concept, we notice it mainly consists of trophy fish held by man. It was previously shown that Inception learns to recognize certain kinds of trophy fish based on the presence of human fingers. By selecting the region around the organism splatter and selecting the artifact concept, we can find various man-made objects that the network considers similar to animals, like mussel, dog sled, or honeycomb. Transferring knowledge from one image classification task to another is a challenging problem. In this scenario, we look at how the previously trained network handles an unknown dataset of flowers. 16 out of 17 flower classes have not been learned by the network. As a concept space, we use the botanical hierarchy of the plants. By looking through the different levels of the concept space, we see that the network has learned to separate most kinds of flowers. Interestingly, it seems like that the network has some difficulties in separating coltsfoot and dandelion, based on its previously learned features, as these two flowers look similar. This is also visible in the recomputed latent space. By increasing the threshold and bandwidth, we notice that separate splatters for coltsfoot appear, based on different angles of the camera and number of flowers. Word2Vec is one of the most widespread word embeddings trained on the Google News dataset. By combining it with Word2Net as a concept space, we can interactively explore the learned semantic concepts. On the highest level, we see that the network does not separate based on parts of speech. We notice that nouns seem to be split into separate parts. Close investigation reveals that many of them refer to foods and drinks, plants, animals, chemical terms, and medical terms. Lower hierarchy levels show that certain terms are separate based on different conditions, like abstract versus physical. If we select the region around a concept splatter with medical terms, we can explore its nearest neighbors. We also find, for example, that it contains various kinds of adjectives, verbs, and adverbs that are also often used in medical contexts.